For the last 2 days. Yeah. And then I had to turn. This morning, I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the other night I did dance on. You know how that's you get to. I've never turned it on this early. It was. All right, I'd like to call the meeting of the Garden Prairie Planning and Zoning Commission. Call it to session. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kathy, will you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Lamb.
Present.
Commissioner Molenkamp.
Here.
Commissioner Musler. Commissioner Neske. Commissioner Pollard. Commissioner Northcutt. Commissioner Stankovich. Chairman Wooldridge. Alderman Detweiler. Here.
All right, the next item on the agenda is public comment, and this is for items that are not part of the public hearing. But before we start that, I have a statement that I would like to read. In recognition of the value of public comment on city issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on matters of community interest, the Planning and Zoning Commission invites residents and other interested parties to speak. Anyone wishing to speak before the commission will need to submit a completed speaker form to the city clerk, which is over here, prior to the start of the meeting. Once your name is called, please approach the podium. To make certain that all interested parties have an opportunity to speak, each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Furthermore, no person will be permitted to speak more than once during the public comment / public hearing portion of our meeting. Please keep in mind that this is not a question and answer session. Please do not expect a response to your comments at this time. So with that being said, is there anybody that wants to address the commission?
Everyone that's turned in a speaker card is speaking during the public hearing.
All right. The first item of business under the public hearing is Rawlings Performance Academies, LLC, doing business as DBAT, is requesting a conditional use permit for a training center for baseball and softball with retail located at 1635 Technology Drive, Suite 110. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Been moved by Commissioner Northcutt. I need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Stankovich. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the motion passed. Need the applicant to come forward and give their presentation.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Ben McIntosh, representing Rawlings Sporting Goods. Thank you for your consideration tonight of our conditional use permit for the Rawlings DBAT location in Garden Prairie. We're looking forward to bringing our baseball and softball training center to your residents. This training center will include a limited retail pro shop with baseball and softball equipment, related apparel and accessories, and other related goods to the game. Please note that this training center is located next door to the new Rawlings Research and Development Facility, and we expect to employ approximately 10 people at the DBAT facility while having 25 employees, up to 25 employees at the associated Rawlings facility next door. For Section 405.475 of the Garden Prairie Code, we understand the decision to recommend approval of Rawlings' proposed conditional use permit is based on a number of criteria. I'd like to address each. The proposed conditional use complies with the I-1 district regulations. The recreational training facility and retail store are both permissible conditional uses in the I-1 district, as they both are included as permissible conditional use within the C1 and C2 districts. Rawlings' proposed use at these premises will contribute to and promote the welfare and convenience to the public. Our indoor climate-controlled facility will provide numerous batting cages, professional instructors, camps, and lessons for kids and adults wanting to improve their baseball and softball performance. The DBAT facility and the limited retail store contained therein are compatible with the industrial nature of the district. Retail portion of the facility will be limited to approximately 2,700 square feet and will sell Rawlings and Easton baseball and softball equipment and goods and a few other associated items. Rawlings is investing considerable resources and money into the DBAT facility. It will be state-of-the-art and should not act to injure the value of the other properties in the vicinity. The facility is located inside of an existing building, and we are not going to expand the building or modify the exterior. The building in which the DBAT will be located that was previously approved from a parking, utility, drainage, and access perspective, and the same will remain sufficient. Use will not dominate the immediate neighborhood and is compatible with the surrounding industrial uses. In fact, there's already a gym quarters, gymnastics facility down the street from our situation, our premises. There is plenty of off-street parking in our facility and is in compliance with the code that will easily accommodate all the employees and guests of the facility. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay. Commission members, you have any questions? I've got one question for you. What are the hours of this going to be?
The DBAT facility, there'll be some seasonal hours based around baseball and such. The DBAT facility will normally be a 10 a.m. to 8 a.m. or excuse me, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Most days. Sundays are 10 to 6. And that could change shorter in the off-season, fall time frame.
As it relates to the retail sales, are you planning any food service or anything in there?
There will be Gatorade and water type service for the athletes. We also have water stations, but some
Right.
prefer to buy other drinks. Outside of that, no. There will be the ability to do birthday parties, team events if people want to, but we will not be providing the food for that.
How many batting cages are there?
Total batting cages, total cages are 14 cages, 3 of which are dedicated to pitching only, 3 of which are dedicated to machines, and the remainder are coach, instructor led or parent player led type scenarios.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any commission members have anything else they want to ask? All right, is there any public comment on this?
There is not.
Need a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Same motion.
Need a second?
Second.
Commissioner Pollard? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, second item on the agenda. And thank you for your presentation. Second item on the agenda, Prospects Athletic Club LLC is requesting a conditional use permit for a training center for athletic development of all ages located at 79 Hubble Drive, Suite 107 through 110. Need a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Been opened or moved by Northcutt,
My second.
second by Neske. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Need the applicant for Prospect Athletic Club. Nobody for Prospect Athletic Club here?
Okay.
Well, that's interesting.
Hear them.
Well, I realize that. Kind of hard to have a public hearing if the applicant's not here. Can we do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've just chosen not to present evidence during their public hearing.
We got 2 pages of questions.
Yeah. They will go unanswered.
We'll cover that under new business.
Yes.
Well, what?
All right, well, not in attendance. Does any of the commission members have any comments or questions about the application?
What are they training?
Mhm.
What's the training involved for the youth and high school, college and professional?
It's
Is it-
going to be 8 batting cages and
Okay.
1 pitching cage.
Okay, so it's the same. type.
No indication of any retail sales or anything like that. All right, any public comment?
There are not.
Then I need a motion to close the public hearing. Okay, it's been moved by Musler and seconded by Northcutt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving right along. The third public hearing is Just-in-Time Lawn Care is requesting a rezoning from R1A to C1 with a conditional use permit and area plan for a landscaping nursery located at 1306 Picey Road. Need a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing. Think of it.
And need a second?
Second.
Angela's second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. The applicant for just-in-time lawn care here?
First, I'd like to thank you guys for your time. My name is Justin Augenstein. I really wish I had that Rawlings guy here right now because he was top notch. But anyways, small background on the situation for 1306. We are a lawn and landscaping business. We currently have a full shop and office over off of South Cool Springs in O'Fallon, Missouri. 506 South Cool Springs to be exact. When inquiring about this property, there was multiple things that happened. Whenever it was listed as a residential and commercial use. Obviously, that was intriguing because right now we are out of office space where we're at. So the original search for office space kind of landed us over here. I grew up off Picey Road. Just recently moved back. Our kids are attend ICD, so to be really close and just move back over here, this was kind of almost silly if we didn't make an attempt. So the property came back up on the market. My agent reached out to me, asked if we were still interested, and then the rest of it kind of snowballed from there. We went in for a conditional use. I was in talks with Kurt Daniels and folks over here at City of Garden Prairie on the right steps and, doing this appropriately and with their guidance. I applied for this. It wasn't too much longer after that Kathy Pratt reached out and said that I needed to apply for a rezoning as well. So whenever that came about, I kind of read through the sections of R1A and then the conditional uses, which all kind of highlight the nursery aspect of it. Now, the one thing that she brought up was, there's no retail sales. Well, originally retail sales weren't on our mind. We were more geared towards 4 or 5 office people being able to operate out of the dwelling. The dwelling, as you probably all know, has been a daycare previously, and then just recently a gathering place for teenagers for the Christian church 2 doors down. So we purchased it from the church. Um, and in comparison, the parking lot being there, everything that was kind of already there, this was kind of our attempt that maybe this could be something that would work. Whenever Kathy mentioned rezoning to the C1, we decided that we would kind of go all in because there's more property and retail sales would obviously help bring people through. This could be potential customers. I realized that it's a little bit more of a ask than, what was previously there. But I still think that as far as an impact on the surrounding areas, I don't think I see much difference as far as traffic goes. Like I said, our office hours are 8 to 5 in the office, Mondays through Fridays, closed on weekends. We will not be operating any of our crews out of this place. This is strictly just for office admin and sales. We were looking for a place to hopefully be able to have customers come by and potentially, look at product, and maybe go over any landscape drawing designs. It's the place that we're in now is just not really fit for it. We're an all gravel facility over there. We want something a little bit cleaner. We realized that this place has kind of sat like this for a while, and obviously our goal would be to clean it up and make it look appealing again. Obviously, everything that is there would be a reflection of our company, which we take seriously. We've been in business for 17 years. Right now, we employ 20 to 25 people year round, and another additional 20 throughout the summertime as seasonal help. There's things that I thought of before coming up here because I figured that we would be met with scrutiny on, light, noise pollution, things of that nature. With the regards to the nursery, I think that's probably where most of the concern comes in. I realize that there's gravel in nurseries. We plan on obviously having a lot of irrigated, to keep these things alive. I don't see gravel, dust being an issue. As far as light go, we have no intent to put any sort of light system. And even if we did, it's to my understanding that everything that we would try to add on would have to be approved by you all as well, which I respect. The only thing that we would like to increase is the size of the outbuilding that's already existing. We would like to increase the size of that to basically house any unsightly things as far as like a piece of equipment or trailer. We would like to keep all of that inside. I think I've kind of touched base on all of my notes. If you guys have questions, I'd love to answer them.
All right. Thank you for your presentation. Commission members, anybody have any questions?
Are you yes, I do. I have a question. Are you planning on building additional structures, either temporarily or not?
So in the drawing I submitted, the only structures that we would be proposing would be collapsible structures. They would basically be like greenhouses in the wintertime and screen shade potentially in the summer. But as far as permanent structures, no, the only thing that's proposed would be increasing the size of the outbuilding.
And that's an existing structure, the outbuildings? Yes,
Yes.
okay.
If I could comment with regard to expansion of the existing structure, I was specific that that would require approval at another time. I was understood that was a future expansion on that building, not a current expansion on the building. And so I didn't include that in a report.
Yeah, they told us the same, that we would have to
Did or
go.
Did not. Okay.
I understood it to be a future expansion, not planned at this time.
Any down this way, Paul? Rich?
I have
Yeah.
a question. For deliveries, how would you accommodate those? The existing property is, residential and small parking lot, small driveway. How would you get large equipment or deliveries? into the
Deliveries,
back here?
the back has plenty of room for deliveries to be taken off street.
How would you get them there, though? Your driveway doesn't go up that far. Driveway stops at.
Well, I know there is an easement drive, but then what we would propose is actually, making a drive alongside of that easement drive, so we would never impede that area. Is that what you're asking?
Isn't that easement driveway owned by the water district? So would you need their permission to do that, or how,
That would be news to me.
that,
Well, what you're showing is what appears that you're showing. Is
Whenever-
an easement drive
Mhm.
is a pole of a flag lot that belongs to the water district.
Yeah, and then I think the cell tower in the back also has access to this easement drive as well, right?
Do you have anything that shows that you have access to that road? Or that drive?
Besides the GIS mapping, not with me, no.
So you've not checked with the water company to see if you can use it?
I would like to get a hold of the cell tower folks as well, because there's obviously things that could be cleaned up back there, but I've been unsuccessful, and honestly, until we were getting into this process, I haven't got that far yet, no, to answer your question.
I mean, I think that's a,
Now I have a question.
good.
Mr. Augenstein, have you done a survey of this property yet?
The survey was already existing whenever we got there. The flags are, I believe, to be missing on the back left down by where the the cell tower and the water tower are, though.
Have you done a title report?
That report, no.
Were you planning to purchase title insurance?
I mean, as far as,
When
The-
when you close on the property?
sure. You got it?
Sorry, I'm with the bank that financed this ground, and we did do a title search on the property when it was acquired. So there is title insurance on the property itself. But to address the survey question, that is, I don't have a copy of that survey. But there is title insurance on that.
The
property.
title report will reveal who the easement owners are.
As long as the title for that easement was included in that legal description. And I don't have a copy of it. To answer your question. But we have rights to that property, the entire property. So I'm comfortable that the agreement on the easement itself, how far it goes back and the size of that easement, I don't have that answer. But we do have rights to that property. So that's my answer.
So you're confident you can use that drive?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
good. I appreciate your answer.
Anybody else got a question before I ask a couple of mine?
I have one question.
Yes,
You have the increase on the outbuilding
Yes,
is your future intentions, correct?
correct.
Will you be storing heavy equipment in there?
No.
Any trucks that you would need for the nursery part that,
No,
so there'll be no heavy equipment on that
The-
property? You won't coming in and out of the property, not at a regular basis, but on an occasional basis?
yeah, like a miniature skid, something that would be able to lift,
So that
balls.
will be on the property and stored in. that
stored
building.
inside the facility, yeah.
Okay, but you won't have any equipment outside of that building anywhere on the property,
No,
anywhere?
no, we don't want that ourselves to begin with, but no.
Thank you.
I have one last question, if I may. Are there any HOA restrictions for your business to be within that residential area?
Not-
That you know of?
Not that I'm aware of, that's kind of why I'm going through these steps. There's tons of questions that I had as well, and I've tried to just do everything in a timely fashion. Whenever, like I said, I originally applied for the conditional use. That's whenever it was brought to my attention that no, you needed to apply for rezoning. And then she gave me the list of everything I needed, and I just tried to do that as efficiently and quickly as I could in the sake of time. So some of the questions that I had, similar to yours, I didn't necessarily have answers for either.
I've got a couple of questions
Sure.
for you. One is, you indicate here that, you're gonna put in some new asphalt and a new new parking area. How many parking spaces are you going to have?
Right now, I think that there is 8 existing and 405, 635 calls for 1 for every 300 square feet of gross floor area. Is that correct?
No, it's one per employee plus
2
two
per
per
company vehicle.
each company vehicle plus one per 600 square feet.
So I read that as well.
And you don't have any parking showing there now. It's all dirt and so forth. So are you taking that whole front yard and paving it?
No. Just where the existing, there's quite a bit of room there that's existing that there's already a parking lot and kind of dilapidated and has not been taken care of over the
So
years.
you're replacing it?
Yeah, we would love to reseal and repave that, yes.
But you don't really know how many parking spots you need. Based upon your.
If we're going off, if we're going off of the, wait, I would need 12, correct? So yeah, they would be 12 and right now there's 10 and that's only on one side. So there's still a whole middle section of that parking lot that's not even striped, or there could have been stripes there before. Like I said, it's so beat up and worn down that you can't see exactly what it is.
How would 20 or 25 employees park in 12 spots?
And we're not having 20 to 25 employees. We only have 4 to 5 is what I proposed. So there's 4 to 5 employees in the office at all times. We have 20 to 25 that operate off of 506 South Cool Springs Road.
So who's gonna handle your retail sales and be out there in the yard?
We've got one person in-house that would handle those things. Name's Travis. This isn't, I mean, this was an idea to be able to house plant material that we use. You know, if we trees, shrubs, obviously it's a lot more realistic to bring these items in bulk. You get better quantities, but then you have to have room to house it for them, care
So
for them.
really, retail sales will be a very small part of the use of the property.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, very minimal. There's been ideas of, flowers, pumpkins, mums, stuff like that nature up front, to try to draw some folks in. But if, if that was a kibosh to that and we're able to at least house plant material for our company, that would be a huge benefit for us. And that's where kind of this all kind of stemmed from.
So if this is mainly to store your stock,
Mhm.
that means then that you're going to have vehicles coming in and out of this site to load up,
Correct.
load the trees and the
Yeah.
plants. And this may happen early in the morning. It may go into the evening time. How many?
I
how
don't think
many
it would be any.
trips a day are you anticipating will be coming in and out of this site with
Yeah.
your workers with materials?
So on a day-to-day basis, I would say we go to the nursery once a week right now, as it is. We get all of our stuff and, do those jobs. But as far as
All right, so you'll get a tractor trailer coming in there with all your stock.
for the first time yeah, absolutely. For the initial,
But to replenish it,
correct.
all right, then how many workers' trucks will be coming in and out to pick up stock to take it to your customer.
Sure, yeah, I mean, I would say no more than two. We have two install crews right now. We're mainly a maintenance company. Um, we do a lot of commercial, residential lawn maintenance, pruning, all of that. So as far as installs go, this isn't a humongous part of our business. This is small, but obviously, with an opportunity such as this, it gives us a better chance to compete with some of the other companies on pricing. But as far as having a huge stock shop where there's 100 people there, that's definitely not the intent, and that's not what we're gearing up for. This property wouldn't be able to support that type of, proposal.
What do you propose to do to mitigate the issue of dust of people driving down that roadway and noise?
Sure,
From the backup
sure. So,
beeps of your
sure.
equipment.
So this would be obviously a process for us. Our goal would be to start from the backside of the dwelling and then work our way back as we were to utilize ground. I don't see this being something that happens overnight in any shape, I think even with a detached shed, that was a kind of a future proposed. I was kind of told to get all of the cards on the table. So this is a projection that it wouldn't even happen, anytime soon. But as far as mitigating dust, any plant material that we would have to be irrigated. If we let it dry out, it's obviously going to die. So I don't think that the gravel would ever have a chance to get dried out to create the dust that you're speaking of.
I mean, you've got houses both on the east and west side of this property.
Agreed.
Drew, and I can't remember, on a C1 commercial, I mean, besides the transition strips that they need for screening, is there any requirements for fencing to fence that off from residential?
I'm not sure offhand. I'd have to check.
Okay.
And we've proposed a screening buffer, a natural screening buffer around the property. I feel like we could, once clearing out some of the existing brush and overgrowth that's there, we could definitely propose adding another layer of evergreen buffer down what would be sorry,
I'm gonna ask this
east
question
side.
of Mr. Musler. Are you comfortable with this without a site plan?
With the CUP,
Correct.
which is different than the rezon.
Right.
No, I would like to see a real site plan associated with the conditional use. I mean, I like the concept plan. It gives us an idea of what his plan is, but I think it's falling short of the site.
All right, I don't have any more questions at this
I have
point.
one last question. It's not noise related, but more smell related from compost or manure or those type of things.
Sure.
How much of that is proposed?
That would
And
be
would it impact the community that has to be there?
sure. That would be dictated off of the retail sales portion of it. If that was approved, then we would stock, our plan was to be able to supply whatever an individual would need to plant and care for whatever they purchase from the property. As far as smell goes, I mean, as far as manure, there would be no manure, but mulch, I mean, I think we all know what mulch smells like, and topsoil doesn't have a smell. But those would be the two main things that I had asked for in the initial request.
And what poundage or amount are we talking about? Is it something that you're definitely gonna, it's there? It's one of those ones you're not gonna be able to get away from.
I would say it would be no more than 20 tons per each category. So if you have a dyed brown mulch, dyed black mulch, and a topsoil, no more than 20 tons or 20 yards of any one of those materials. Because like I said, I don't see this being a humongous, operation. The property wouldn't support that.
What does your competition store? How much do they store? If you're wanting to compete
Well,
with them,
Well,
what's theirs?
we store all of that stuff at our other location.
Okay.
So we'll store over 150 cubic yards of mulch at a time. But, those guys are loading from our shop, going straight out to the jobs to try to skip those, unwanted stops going to nurseries and everything else. So for them to come to this place, that would never happen because we wouldn't be able to keep enough on site for our guys to use it. This would strictly just be for retail sales.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, at this point then, public comment.
Thanks.
Thank you. We have anybody that,
We have 4, just not getting the timer set up
oh,
before they get up here, trying to be prepared. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do my best with individuals' handwriting. My husband has terrible handwriting and I've learned to read it over 22 years, but this is the first time getting used to some of yours, so apologize if I don't get it right. I believe it's Mr. Carl Pfeiffer. So, one down.
I am Carl Pfeiffer, and I live at 1652 Mount McKinley Drive, which is in subdivision called Pinnacle Point. And there are 4 properties that are directly affected by this proposed business that line the the access road that goes back to the water company and cell tower. I have already addressed these issues with Just in Time, and I've also dropped off a copy of the letter to you folks as well. I'm concerned, obviously, about the repurposing to zoning C1. I'm concerned about the continued livability of our properties there along that public easement back to the water tower, specifically for 4 types of pollution. You all have already addressed a couple of them here. The dust pollution. We have westerly dominant winds there, and we're directly west of this new proposed business. And I'm very concerned about any vehicles that are going down the easement road or driving around on that property and having dust thrown up in the air and coming across our properties and into my pool and affecting my 4 little grandkids that are out back playing every day. So I'm concerned about dust pollution. I'm concerned about noise pollution. I don't know, he mentioned mulch. I don't know if there'll be any grinding of mulch, taking a grinder and actually grinding mulch. Very noisy operation. Concerned about light pollution. He already addressed that. I'm not going to do much with the lighting. And I'm also concerned about chemical pollution. Sorts of chemicals would be sprayed or used on that property. But again, the westerly winds would blow all that over my house. Our house is along that easement. And I'm also concerned about the access road. I'm not sure. I thought I heard him say that he was going to be building a separate road next to the easement road. But I don't know if that means we're going to have a doubly wide road back there now. So I'm a little concerned about that because right now it is gravel, and anytime a water department truck goes back there at any speed, it's throwing up dust. So I don't know if there'll be lots of delivery cars or delivery vehicles going in and out. Business or people coming in to buy stuff and driving their cars up and down there. Again, could throwing lots of things into the air. I'd like to know what assurances we as homeowners have that just-in-time will not degrade our property values and the livability of our properties. Thank you.
It's not as easy as it looks, sorry. Okay, Mr. Mark Hunter.
Alley. I think everything's been covered really well here. It's dust and light. I was talking with one of the neighbors a couple weeks ago, and to me, it's like it's all about the details where you have to get to a really high level of detail of and understanding, like we we're talking about the kind of getting the the site plan and all of that. So yeah, there's just it's kind of to me, it's one of the things where there's a lot that can go wrong with it, with the light and the dust and all of that. But yeah, it just comes down to the details. So I think as for this thing to advance, it just got to get to the next level or two of detail and get to a real high level of understanding of it and just see is it something that anyone would want in their backyard? So thanks.
This is the one I'm not sure about. Last name's Weller.
My name is Rich Weller. I live at 1664 Mount McKinley Drive, and this business is exactly in my backyard. While I'm all for small business, I just don't think this is the right business for our community. Like my neighbor Carl mentioned, he raised issues about noise, light issues. There's parking issues. The easement road is owned by the water company. So they would have to have access to that road. And if he doesn't know that, then that's an issue right there. An 18-wheeler, I just don't see how that's going to be able to deliver any type of goods for his business. And if he's talking about expanding another road along the easement road, where is that going to go? We live in a quiet community, and I just think this type of business with the trucks, the heavy equipment that's coming in and out of there, the deliveries, 8 to 5 is always well and good for a business, but sometimes things run later into the evening. Are they doing snow removal? Has that been brought up? What type of pesticides are they going to be using for their plants? I mean, they're having greenhouses, so they got to spray them with something. So I'm concerned about chemical issues, water runoff, like I said, noise pollution. So there's a lot of things that a member of this committee needs to take in consideration before approving this conditional use permit. It was a residential tract, 3 acres. It's been that way for many, many years. I understand the church has owned it for many, many years. But changing that to a commercial business in that small knit community that we have, I just don't think it's the right type of business for that tract of land. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Wes Cook.
Problem on that road, when they, some trucks, semis go back down. The plans for that right now that we see, They don't really say a whole lot, so I'm glad you asked that question. But if he uses that road to go in, he's probably gonna have a gate on the out and a gate on the back to come in. That road shouldn't be accessed for this nursery. If it was just a nursery for himself, I'm sure the residents and him can come to some kind of agreement. They are worried about the smell. Smell's a big thing. The dust, I think, is gonna be huge when they're all sitting, their fence lines sit 5 foot off of that gravel road when they're back there. Pools, barbecue, that dust is gonna accumulate on top. Then you open it up to the public and you got, trucks with 16-foot trailers coming in there loading up the Bobcat that he's gonna be running, loading up stuff. It's gonna end up all over Feisy. I'm sure he would work with us, have it cleaned up every evening for what he needs to do. Business running Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I really don't believe that one bit. How are you gonna make money retail if you have a nursery open to the public and if you're not open on Saturday? I mean, there's a lot of holes in this. They need to build. There need to be restrictions. Talk to them. Said 4 residents. I think it affects 5 on that road. And then Cadova's got the vision of seeing it on the backside. I mean, everybody's pretty much said everything over and over again. I do like how you guys are asking the questions and concerns about it. Moving that way. Maybe something can be agreed upon a private nursery, but a public nursery, just a total disaster. Thank you for listening.
That's it.
Okay. Need a motion, to close the public hearing? Been moved by, Commissioner Pollard. Need a second,
Second.
seconded by, Lamb. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Fourth public hearing. Darting Prairie Realty LLC is requesting a rezoning from new district to R1D with a 20-unit development with an area plan for 11 single-family residential units located on Highway N, approximately 875 feet west of Highway N and Ardmore Drive. I think it's supposed to be, it's located on Town Square.
Yes.
So I need a motion, to open the public hearing.
Don't move.
Moved by Northcutt,
Second.
second by Neski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, need to get, well, he's right there. You're ahead of me.
I snuck up, none of you heard me. That's how quiet I am, even though I'm a big guy. I can still move around just fine. My name is Charlie Wardle. I'm an engineer with Bax Engineering. Our address is 221 Point West Boulevard, St. Charles, Missouri, 63301. Right there above you, we have the color rendering with what we envision the subdivision to look like. That go to the next slide, please. Kind of give you a location. It's actually outlining that red box there. To the north and east, we have Wyndham Meadows, which is currently zoned R1D PUD. To the south, we have the city of O'Fallon, and to the east, we have a new development, single-family home that's zoned ND. We are asking to rezone it from ND to R1D PUD. We're asking for 2 deviations. The first deviation is going to be lot width. We're asking to go from 80 feet to 60 feet. And with the deviation of lot width, it is going to make the lot area smaller. So we're asking for a deviation from 12,000 square feet to 6,876, our smallest lot. Could I go to the next slide? That's just kind of an area. The blue box with the white star is the current property and the zoning around it. I just want to make sure y'all saw the zoning around it. Have go to the next slide, please. Lot 7 and 8 at the top are actually going to be abutting to Wyndham Meadows, and those 2 lots are the same size or larger than the 4 lots they're touching. Those 2 lots are approximately 14,000 square feet. The lots that they're touching on Wyndham Meadows between 12,000 to 13,000 square feet. Can I go to the next slide, please? Another one, please. This is for our front elevation of our ranch style house. As you can see, we have a stone veneer on the bottom and we have board and batten along the top. If you go to the next slide, that's gonna be kind of our color render for you. I'm here to answer any questions for you if you have any, and I do have the architect here. If there's any architectural questions that you can answer.
All right. Commissioners?
Not here.
Jim, Craig, Mike? To my right, Mr. Musler, you have that look.
One quick question, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think that you might need a sidewalk along Town Square Boulevard. Right now, the plan doesn't depict one. And I know there's none immediately east and none immediately west, but go further east to in front of the prairie, they have constructed a sidewalk along this side. And I'd like to see your plan include a sidewalk across the front.
Yes, sir. If the city would like that, I mean, that's something that we can definitely discuss and add the sidewalk to the front.
Other than that, I like your plan.
Thank you very much, sir.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? I've got a couple.
Yes, sir.
One is, are all of these going to have basements?
Yes, sir.
And what about patios?
The patios, I cannot answer that. I'd have to ask the architect about patio.
Well, because the renderings show landscape planting right in front of the sliding door. You know, I don't think that was the intent, but it would be helpful to know that. Otherwise, it seems to be a little incomplete for living purposes.
Yes, sir.
You have the architect here?
I do.
Evening committee. My name is Brian Rout, 30-year resident here in Garden Prairie. Developed and built homes over the years. Was involved with the development of Winghaven, some of the other, and Covert Dardine. Personally developed Winterset Hollow and Tyson's Corner. Long time in front of the old committee when that project was approved. I'm currently the owner of Dev Design Group and Beck Builders. We will be the architect, developer, and builder of the property located at 100 Midland Park Drive. To answer your question, those are just artistic renderings. There'll probably be patios. I think everything is in grade, I believe. So concrete patios, various size, depending on, customers' selections, everything staying within side of the setback in that case.
And these are all for owner occupied.
Yes.
Do you have any indentures yet for this development?
No.
Are you going to have indentures?
Yes.
Don't indentures have to be supplied at some point here?
They do. I think it's with the record plat.
Think so too.
Right.
And then one last question on at the front of the development, you have a detention basin.
Yes,
With a retaining wall. How deep is this detention basin?
it is 6 feet, sir.
6 feet?
Yes, sir.
So I would assume that you're going to have some sort of
Fencing around it. Yes, sir.
fencing around it,
There will be a fence and a gate going down the slope into the thing.
so it'll be totally
It will
enclosed,
be totally enclosed. Yes, sir.
because I don't see that on the plan. Unless I'm looking at the wrong sheet.
No, that's not on the plans.
Question about your landscaping.
Yes, ma'am.
So it looks here that aside from sod and about 38 trees or so throughout the whole development, is there anything else that's planning on being installed and
We actually-
forming?
We actually talked about that. It's actually part of the, someone, Whenever someone buys a house, there's gonna be a landscaping plan of, with that, so they can actually plant.
Oh, like a
plants
package
in that
type of
area.
thing?
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
not gonna be, so then it's not gonna be uniform? Or are you gonna give them a set amount of, you can plant this, this, and this? Or are you gonna be just whatever you want to plant, homeowner, we're gonna, and then you pick that? That's what's gonna,
Well, I know if I offer myself roses, my wife wouldn't plant because she hates roses. So I can't, everybody has their own style, what they want. I mean, we can specify like 5 or 6 different bushes and some types of grass as
Sure.
well as some flowers, but they're all gonna be individual. Because once they own the house, they can plant whatever they want to plant.
sure,
Well, I think the intent of the code is not to have just grass and no ornamentation around the property. You want something that's gonna dress it up, so.
Yes, sir. That's why it's a part of the land, that's why it's part of the house is that landscaping package, a part of the house.
Okay.
And it's hard for an engineer to develop that from 10,000 feet up, like, they want this boxwood tree here and they want this lemongrass here. I can't do that for each individual one because I don't know who's gonna buy the house.
sure, sure. I was asking more on the lines of having it more cohesive from a development perspective, if it's, you know, if all of the landscaping were gonna be cohesive, I guess that's the word, rather than just whatever you pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we can include in the package, the sale of the home, or have a standard package, the allowance, selection,
Sure.
and identify a landscape company to provide things that we've done similar in
Sure.
the past.
Right, that's
To
what
get
I'm-
it kind of, no, have
Just
50
whatever,
different choices or
exactly,
whatever, we kind of narrow it down.
right,
At least when we build and present it after that.
sure, sure, of course.
Great. We keep some of that under control.
Sure, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
So I think I'm seeing that 9 of the 11 lots are below the minimum lot area, with 6 of those being about half of the minimum lot area. Is that correct? Am I correct in that?
One quick question. What color are you anticipating these units being?
I mean, we'll have a selection of colors, limited to, some neutral, nothing, no crazy blues or green, something that will, blend in with the surrounding homes, kind of today's, color palette.
Are they gonna be built in such a manner that you don't have the same frontage on the front and the front?
Yeah, so in the fact, yeah, so try not, in the past, we typically don't allow the same elevation next to each other. So even if it's a color change per se, but we try to make sure that elevation A is not, again, 3 elevation A's in a row on the 2-story.
Mhm.
It can only be a B now because A was there before. Give it a little bit of randomness and not so much harming there type of.
Anybody else have any questions?
So these are all gonna be single family homes, not like a villa or, community maintains a landscape or no kind of condo type situation.
All single
Nothing like that. Okay.
Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I do. Under the standard zoning standards and compliance, quite a few of the categories you are proposing a lot less than what our zoning and ordinances tell you need to have. I guess my question is, what would it take to get you into compliance with these? Would it take getting rid of one home and moving things around, or 2 homes and moving things around? Because we have these zoning standards and compliances for a reason. And, when we start deviating from these things, it kind of makes them mute. And why do we have them? So, I mean, even in the square footage, your square footage, for the 1-story, you're okay. But for the 2-story, it says required is 1,250 square feet for the first floor, and you have 1,088. Well, it says 1,088 square feet for the first floor. One by what, this is what's in the packet.
First floor and 2 story should be
Okay.
1286.
All right, other than that, your maximum lot coverage is not to exceed 30%. You have 24%. And your yard setbacks, front, side, and rear, you're fine. But lot depth, we require 100, and you're doing 115, which is deeper. But it just seems like that your lot width is a lot lower, 20 foot lower than what we're requiring. And I'm just not sure that that is something that you're just, when they get finished, they're going to look like they're just crammed in there like sardines. And I think that it's something that needs consideration as to whether eliminating 1 or 2 of the homes and spreading those in the line a little bit further apart wouldn't accomplish a better look in the end for the subdivision once you've built them and you leave. The neighborhood and the residents are what's left with the looks. So you may build a nice home and it may look nice, but when the whole thing is finished, we want the whole subdivision to look nice, not just an individual home. So my recommendation is that you give that some consideration.
I have one last question. It looks like the garages are 19 and a half wide and maybe 20 deep.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I let that one alone.
Uh,
I didn't touch that one.
Well, I'll bring it up because I thought the standard was more or less at least 20, if not 21 for a 2-car garage. How are people going to park 2 cars in the garage and their trash cans?
I mean, it is a acceptable size. Obviously, you're not gonna get 2 pickup trucks in there. I think the purpose of that is to start at the acceptable size, we get 2 cars in there, and then throughout the selling of the homes, there can be optional 2-foot extensions, things like that to the garage depths.
So
Not atypical.
I would assume in your indentures that you submit later on, that you'll have a line item in there that says that all trash containers must be put in the garage.
Yeah, something simple to add. I know you guys were after that 2-foot extension last time for the garage, for the trash cans.
Okay.
Couple of them, but-
All right. Anybody else got any questions? All right. Need a motion to close the public.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, what, we need public comment. I couldn't get by on that one.
Mr. Mike Howard.
I am adjacent to this property in question. Listen, we were all here just a mere 10 months ago, having this exact same conversation for this exact same parcel of land, the same builder, the same developer. And it seems to me that we are basically wiping away the multifamily piece that they did 10 months ago to now stick 11 families in there, which has not been addressed at this point, in my opinion. The moratorium, while the word multifamily was in there, was designed, my understanding as a resident of Darden Prairie, to evaluate the impact of these high density units being placed into our community. And so I'm asking for availability to see the impact analysis that has been, what my understanding was going to be conducted over this past year. Has that taken into consideration this new approach to say, hey, we're not going to do 24 multifamily, we're going to stick 11 single families on 3 acres of land? How that's been analyzed for our community. Again, have we communicated to the school district? Are we looking at the traffic studies? Are we looking at the environmental impact of this? Have we done that analysis that the moratorium that was enacted 12 months ago was set to put into place? So that's my question, or my comments tonight is, are we taking that analysis into our thought process of this proposal? Thank you.
Okay, now we need a motion to close the public hearing. Moved by Pollard. Need a second?
Second.
Moved by Land. All in favor? Opposed? All right, moving on. Approval of the minutes from the work session of 1/14/26 and the regular session of 1/14/26 and the work session of February 11th, 26. Need a motion to approve the minutes. Anybody move it? All right. Moved by Yankovic, second by Pollard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All righty. Commission communications. Anybody have anything good for the cause? Cassie, you got anything you want to communicate? Okay. All right, then let's move on to new business. Item number 1 of new business is Rawling Performance Academies LLC doing business as DBAT, conditional use permit to allow batting and pitching cages and retail sale of sporting goods. Does the commission members have any further comment on this? No? All right, we're going to need a motion here for to recommend approval or denial of the CUP to the Board of Aldermen. I would suggest that whoever makes that motion include items 1 through 4 that were mentioned in the staff recommendations to be included with that CUP. If anybody wants to make the recommendation. We're not hearing anybody, I'll make a recommendation that we recommend approval of this application to the Board of Aldermen with the conditions 1 through 4 from the staff report.
I'll second.
Been moved by Woldridge, seconded by Northcutt. And I need a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. The motion passes. Moving on to Prospect Athletic Club LLC, conditional use permit to allow batting and pitching cages, 79 Hubble. Anybody got any questions? Comments?
Did we?
All right.
They
Then
are here.
I'll make a motion here then to speed this up. I recommend that, or make a motion to recommend to the Board of Aldermen approval of this application with conditions 1 through 3 of the, staff report. Need a second. All righty, moved by Woolridge, seconded by Pollard. All in favor? Opposed? All right, the motion passed. All right. The next item under new business, just-in-time lawn care, conditional use permit and rezoning from R1A to C1 CUP to allow nursery and retail nursery sales at 1306 Ficey Road. Does anybody have any further comments?
Yeah.
Just because I can't help myself, I'm gonna make a couple comments. One is I'm concerned about taking a piece of residential property that is zoned residential R1A. It's 2 acres. That more or less that whole south side of Ficey to Handley is all R1A. And, to open it up like this, to me, is somewhat problematic in terms of the future development that could come along on Ficey. But more importantly on this, I think we have a lot of unanswered questions on this application. I'm not saying that what they want to do is bad or anything necessarily, but I think we're lacking some detail. That's just my opinion.
Agreed.
Agree.
Drew, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that, don't forget, there's 2 items here that need to be voted on, the rezoning and the conditional use.
The rezoning and the CUP.
Correct, the rezoning, yeah, correct.
Mr. Chairman, I share your concern about the rezone to a C1. If it were rezoned and Mr. Augenstein ever opened his business and opened it for 6 months and then closed it, it'd have a different C1 use go in there.
Right.
It does seem like that would be not be coming with the neighborhood on the south side there.
Right.
Just the fact that it's commercial kind of bothers. By the same token, I look at the property and it's in distress. Typically the structure is,
Right.
needing attention. Not so sure that viable as a single family residential anymore.
No, it would have to be a tear down and redevelop.
Yeah. But, so I'm kind of conflicted both ways there.
Yeah, I think, let me ask you a question. It would appear that based upon the presentation, that while they will have retail sales, this is really kind of a way station for their stock, for their other customers in their maintenance business. If they supply these plants to their customers in other areas, and obviously they're going to charge them. Where's the sales tax? Does the sales tax come to us? Or does it go to where it's sold at?
I'm not certain, but I believe it's considered wholesale at that point. They're selling their customer a landscape plan that includes landscaping. I don't know, and maybe Drew knows otherwise, that they would then charge sales tax to the customer on the plant materials. I think it's part of a package they offer, a quote on. I want 5 trees and shrubs and what have you. I don't think there is a tax on it. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there is a sales tax. And I agree with you that at least the way it was presented to me by the applicant, his sales were intended to be more mums in the fall, pumpkins. He sort of added that on to the application when he started the process. If I could remind everybody to put their microphones on when they speak, please.
Yes. Wasn't speaking into it. Yeah, just make a motion. We'll start with the rezoning request. And the rezoning request would be a recommendation or to recommend denial to the Board of Aldermen of the rezoning.
In denial.
So it's been moved by Pollard to recommend denial of the rezoning. Need a second from Northcutt. All in favor? Say aye. Oh,
Aye.
excuse me, wait a minute.
We need a.
No, you need
We
a,
need a voice vote. If I read my own notes.
Yeah, that's a voice vote. All in favor is a voice vote. It's not a roll call vote, so you were correct.
Oh, that's the first all day. Okay, so a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? All right, so the denial passes. So now we need another motion to either recommend approval or denial of the CUP to the Board of Aldermen. Let me see if I can kind of craft something here. And I'll have to go back to Drew. Drew?
Because the board makes. Yes, sir.
If we go and recommend denial to this for the CUP, and the board would decide, no, we want to approve it. It wouldn't have all the conditions in the staff report or anything else that we would want to add, right?
No, that's not correct. So just as a practical perspective, when these things get forwarded to the board, even if you recommend denial, there's still an ordinance prepared because the board makes a final decision. So the default is if there's staff conditions, those will go into the ordinance. Those staff conditions on the CUP would go into the ordinance. And it's up to the board. They can remove them, they can deny, or they could add more.
Okay. Well, then let me try this. I'm going to move that we recommend to the Board of Aldermen approval of the CUP.
Well, why don't, well, go ahead. Sorry, finish your thought, but I have a perhaps alternative recommendation.
All right, well, then let's just test this out. Is a recommendation of approval with the conditions that they meet all the requirements from the staff report of what the numbers were. Hang on here. Conditions of approval 1 through 5. And that besides those, that the hours based upon the conversations here limited at 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. No lighting. I think he said they weren't putting any lighting up. That any additional building on the site will need approval from the commission. And I'm going to add one of no loading or unloading or deliveries before 8 a.m.
Didn't we also ask about a fencing of some sort?
I'm sorry, what?
A fencing of some sort? Did we? I thought we had mentioned that we wanted to have some kind of fence or screening or something like that.
It could be living.
Oh, a living, okay, perfect. Thank you.
So that's my test.
So the Planning and Zoning Commission makes a recommendation and it's a report to the Board of Aldermen. So your recommendation can still be denial or approval. But if it's denial, you can still, in your report, in your discussion, even in your motion, say, if the board were to approve, we would recommend these additional conditions.
Okay, well then, let's do this. Move that the commission, excuse me, that the commission recommend denial of the request for a CUP. But if the board deems that they want to approve it, that they include conditions 1 through 5 of the staff report and the additional conditions of 8 to 5, Monday through Friday for operations, no lighting, any future building additions will have to come before the zoning commission, and no unloading, no loading, unloading, or deliveries before 8 a.m.
Second.
Okay. Well, somebody tell me what I just said, but yeah. Okay, so,
Question on the motion?
yes, sir.
Seems to me to be a lot of unanswered questions concerning how Mr. Augustine is going to utilize the property. So if the board resigns, if they do, I would think that he should come back to us with a real site plan. So before we vote on your motion, I think I'd prefer table it. Wait until we see what the board does with
They go to.
You could, I mean, there is a motion,
motion to
Second.
table is always in order.
right?
Can we make that a condition as opposed to table, can we make the site plan a condition? Tack on to the end of the initial
I mean, you
motion?
could, but then the board's really not going to review it like we would.
What if the condition, the additional condition were to produce a site plan in accordance with the city's requirements, site plans, and send it back to planning and zoning? And that's all if they rezone. I don't know, is that too drawn out?
How about we just
No.
table it? How about we table it, get the site plan, have the applicant come back?
Well, you've already turned down recommended denial of the
No.
rezone.
Okay.
So,
If we table and the board doesn't rezone it, they won't be back.
I guess it's an indefinite table, isn't it?
But we can remove it from the table and then dispose of it at a later date.
Right?
well, would we amend this motion that's on the floor here? That's it. I know where you're coming
You
from.
can amend the motion.
Yeah. You know, if I'm saying this right, the amendment is that we table any recommendation until after the board votes on the rezoning.
That's what I wanted to do. But that wouldn't be an amendment to your motion. That
would
would
just
be
be
a
in there.
new motion that can be acted upon before your motion. Right. Thank you, Greg.
Who's on first?
Well, I don't know.
I think it's on everybody. Yeah, I think so. Does anybody to my left have any questions or comments on this? All right, so make your motion.
Table,
Need a second.
simple motion.
Need a second. I'll second it. So all in favor of Mr. Musler's, motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so that motion carries. So what do we do with the original motion that was on the floor?
It'll be voted upon presumably at the next meeting.
By the board?
We don't have to take any action on it.
No. No, I mean, the matter is tabled, so the consideration will be at the next P and Z meeting in April.
Okay,
Yeah, I would rather see the applicant have everything that he needs to be able to present it to the board without all these questions. So he doesn't run into any issues with the board. I think it's in his favor to table this and let him get what he needs and get any questions that we may have had brought up, answered, so that before he goes to the board, he has all of that. I think there were more questions here than what he was comfortable at answering, and or maybe he needs to rethink some things, and I think that would be in his benefit before he goes before the board.
thinking we should change the rezoning vote.
I don't know. I mean,
Personally, I don't think so. I think that gives the board plenty of idea of our thinking as it relates to the rezoning. Now, if they want to change that, that's fine, but then he'll have the opportunity to come back for a CUP.
okay, I'm just trying to make it easier for the gentleman. I think there's some real confusion. I felt like there was some real confusion on his part on some things. And you're asking for a site plan that he wasn't able to present tonight, and some other things on a survey that maybe are questionable, and then that road. I don't want him to go before the board with all these unanswered questions because, they may not want to have empty answers. So I just feel like it's in his best interest that he understands what you're asking for. And if he has to go before the board would it be next week? Okay, next week, then he's got to get in gear and get some things ahead of time. Otherwise, if you can postpone it and let him come back and have everything in all his ducks in a row, then he can come through you already and then go on to the board.
Isn't that the board's prerogative to table themselves? Isn't that something that you could do, Carmen?
Yeah, I could do that, but the point is, you're asking for a site plan. The board is not, as you said, going to look at a site plan like you're going to look at the site plan. That's what I've been saying, that we need to get this commission to get those things through and look at them so that when it goes to the board knows that you've already looked at those things, so they don't need to worry about where the water's running or whatever the questions are. But I'm just saying, I hate to see an applicant who I think is being sincere in what he's trying to do. Whether we think it fits or not is not my judgment. What I'm saying is I just hate to see him go before a board not being prepared, because I honestly don't think he was as prepared tonight as he could have been had he known some things ahead of time. So I'm just trying to be an advocate for the gentleman that I felt like he was trying very hard to give you answers, but didn't have all the answers at this point. And he needs to do a little more research and be a little bit more prepared before he goes before the board.
It's not our job on this commission to lead the horse to water.
No, I agree, but you're asking questions of the gentleman that I don't think he thought he was going to have to answer. And so in all fairness, I think, you know, if you need more information, then I think the commission should give him the time to get that information and come back and be more prepared. And then you make your decision however it's going to be. But I just, you know.
I agree with you on the CUP,
Okay.
not necessarily on the result.
Okay. However you
For him
want
to
to spin it.
produce a site plan that addresses all of these concerns, you can spend a fair amount of money to do that. Now, I think if I'm the applicant, I'd sure like to know if the rezoning is gonna go through before I spend the money to prepare that site plan.
Okay.
I mean, if the board is not gonna want any part of this rezoning, well, you know, then that's information he'll get pretty quickly.
You know, one thing to consider here is that if it goes before the board, and I think you could certainly articulate this at the meeting, is that if it goes before the board and there seems to be a desire for this to be rezoned, but they don't necessarily want to make that decision, just like other applications in the past, the whole thing can be referred back to us to kind of restart the process. You really don't want the commission to go and approve this rezoning and then him not come back to the CUP, and now we're stuck with a rezoning that may not be this.
Well, that's why I would rather have it all in one swoop. But you're the commission, so.
Anybody have any comment on this?
Plus the rezoning. I think everyone made a decision on that based on several factors, not just on this piece of property, but on the adjacent properties and others down the line.
Please speak into the microphone.
I said, I think we already made a decision on the rezoning based on several factors, not just the intended use for this piece of property, but also the impact on other area properties.
Drew, would you like to weigh in on this or?
Well,
No, I thought you had a comment you wanted to make.
no,
No, then don't say it. I'll take you off.
unless you have questions.
Okay, so at this point, we have voted to recommend denial of the
I just don't-
rezoning. And we have moved to table the CUP.
And if I'm not mistaken, the CUP is a moot point and it's not rezoning, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that makes sense to me.
Right.
Okay.
What you don't want to have happen is have them approve the rezoning without any requirement to come back for the CUP. Because then that'll be an issue. Because then, as Rick said, you're going to end up with something that other than what was here. Let's move on then to the next item. And that is the Darting Prairie Realty LLC rezoning from ND to R1D PUD located on Highway N, approximately 875 feet west of Highway N and Ardmore Drive. Commission have any comments? Or questions?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, is this the one for Redbud?
No.
No, okay,
Garden Prairie.
Garden Prairie Realty, over here off of Town Square.
gotcha. Thank you.
All right. So, there was a lengthy list of conditions that were proposed. Just so that everybody is reminded of that. 1 through 6, much of it having to do with, not having submitted a lighting detail plan, landscape material, and so forth. So, anybody want to make a motion for a motion to either approve or make a recommendation of approval or denial to R1D?
I make the motion that we recommend to the board they approve this rezon.
Been moved by Musler. A second. Seconded by Northcutt. And we need a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
Nay,
And Northcutt's nay.
nay,
Okay.
sorry, Lamb's nay.
We need a roll call, and we already know it's
Well,
5-3.
okay.
Or do you want to do a roll call?
You could ask for a roll call since it was a mixed vote, just to
Okay,
make
let's
sure.
do a roll call.
Okay.
Aye.
No.
Commissioner Musler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mullenkamp,
Yes.
Commissioner Lamb,
Nay,
Commissioner Stankovich, Chairman Wildridge.
No.
Yes.
I believe we have a tie.
oh. Never happened.
All right, so is that the same as a denial?
Well, the motion to recommend approval did not pass.
So do we need to have another motion for denial?
You could, if someone wants to make that motion. I'm not sure it'll come out differently.
Anybody want to make a motion to deny? All right, well, then we'll leave it at 4-4. All right, the next item then is a motion and voice vote to recommend approval or denial of the area plan and PUD to the Board of Aldermen with any conditions. And I would recommend that if you recommend approval, that it would be based upon any conditions would be the 1 through 6, I believe it is, in the staff report, as well as a couple things that were discussed at the public hearing. One, that there's basements, patios at the back where there's walkouts. sidewalk along Town Square, fence at the detention basin.
You need to address the lot size. Not being in compliance, I think that's time.
Yeah, but he's submitted as a PUD, not to have it meet it. Or at least some of them. And indentures, you're gonna supply later, right? Okay, so that's the conditions. So I'll move that.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Woolridge, seconded by Musler. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
But was there an aye for a nay? Do you mean to vote nay for a nay?
Yeah. I did say approval, didn't I?
Yeah.
What an
Yes.
idiot.
Like, what am I named
It's
for?
late.
What am I
It's
named
less
for?
than past my bedtime.
What am I
I
named for?
voted against my own motion.
Yes, that's okay.
That's okay.
That's why I'm like, what are we doing?
I hope nobody watches this. All right,
Put it out on
YouTube. Put it on YouTube.
all right. So it's passed 7-1. Not the end of the world. Okay. Item number 5 under, well. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. There's also, wait a minute. We took the area plan and the PUD.
Yep.
At that last vote. So we're fine. All right. So under old business. Redbud Development Group LLC, R1D, new area plan. This was sent back to the zoning commission from the Board of Aldermen for review on January 21st, 2026.
Are you skipping that?
Huh?
You skipping the first agenda item?
We took, no, we'll do the moratorium.
Okay.
It's okay with me. Well, no. Carla,
Yes,
can you explain why this came back?
yeah, it came back because there's drastic changes from the original plan that you approved. If I'm correct, the amount of units, Kathy, units went down. And
I don't think there was any deviations as I recall.
no, it went from 32 single-family attached to now 20 units. But it seems like there was something else. But the board just felt like it was too big of a change. I think they, to just approve it. They wanted it to come back here.
And we're looking at a rezoning from C2 to R1D with no PUD, and then a recommendation of some sort for the area plan.
Which is.
Oh, I remember he took out the amenities. Yeah, I think the dog park went away, I believe. He moved the mail kiosks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can tell us.
Changed.
Good afternoon. I'm Charlie Ward. I'm with Bax Engineering, 221 Point West Boulevard, St. Charles, Missouri, 63201. I'm here to introduce to you 7393 Highway Inn. In front of you have the updated color rendering. So off of our meeting that we had in January, where we had a lot of discussion about what you did and did not like about this project. So we took everything that you did not like about this project and we took it out. We just threw it away. We just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I know Mr. Musser talked about having great inlets and an inverted street. So we crowned the street and we have curb inlets and they're all at 26-foot wide. We also had a comment about adding patios to the back of each unit. So there's now a patio on the back of each unit. We also had a discussion about the size of units. So we made all the units meet the code for Darjeeling Prairie for a ranch and 2 stores. We also added basements to each unit. We also added more parking, which was one of the discussions or one of the items that you wanted on this site plan. So we added more parking throughout the entire site. We also added more conifers and took away deciduous trees. So there was a better blocking between the apartments and the new, and this side right here. We added basements on each one. And now the houses all meet the minimum standards for R1D.
Still designed for rental,
No, now it's for sale.
for sale.
For sale now, yes.
Okay.
There's not enough units in there for a rental to make it equitable, so
So if this gets approved when it comes time for you'll submit indentures for this?
yes, that will come with the record plat.
And also to give respect to you all, bring it back to you, show you that we made changes that you recommended the first time. So we just bring it back to you to show respect and do the process.
Appreciate that.
Oh, no worries.
Can I ask for anything else?
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Can I ask for anything else?
Cool. My wife asked all the time.
Yes, Mr. Musto.
Originally, this was proposed to be a private street. Is it now proposed to be a public street?
Yes, sir. Now will be a public street because these are all for sale.
What's your right of way width?
The right of way width is, if you can, I don't want to be called out again like I was last time.
You always have good questions.
Well,
I didn't see a typical section on this set like you had on your first set. So I scaled it at 50.
I don't want to be wrong, but give me 1 quick second, sir. Took it off. There's 26-foot wide pavement, 50-foot right.
26-foot wide pavement.
26-foot wide.
If this is a public street, proposed to be a public street,
Yes, sir.
which I think is a good move. Don't we require sidewalks on both sides, man?
I'm unsure of that. I can look it up real quick.
I think you may be right, but there have been cases, at least one case where we didn't do that. And that was over here in Bridgewater on the corner up there at Hanley and Feist. Remember, there was sidewalk.
We told them to take it out.
Yeah, it was a PUD.
Bridge on,
Yeah.
proposed to be a public street. I don't know that you need it on the other side, but
Well, we do have the parallel parking on
Yeah,
the east side of the main road, so the sidewalk would be outside of the right of way then because the parallel parking.
well, you got nothing over there. So you could put it in a sidewalk easement. That wouldn't be a problem. I don't know that you need the sidewalk on that side. I'm just asking the question, can we have a public road? Sidewalks on one side only. It's a question that I do not know the answer to.
Yes, Drew.
Our ordinance requires on both sides of the street, before they can get turned. It would be a separate action. You
Okay.
require to get the variance to put the sidewalk. Then we don't have to maintain the sidewalk in the future.
And Jeff, the variance would be through the Board of Adjustment.
Adjustment.
26 feet for our public streets.
Yes, that's allowed.
Another sidewalk question for you.
Yes, sir. I love sidewalks.
City recently reconstructed Stump Road,
Yes, sir.
and it's a fine looking road
Very nice.
with a sidewalk that was paid for by the city at considerable expense, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Can we have a sidewalk along the North Island Road and along Stump Road across this project?
Across the front of this property? Because we don't,
Across that frontage.
that's Old Stump Road, which actually belongs to MoDOT, not us.
Yeah, that's not ours.
This diagonal is old stuff.
Don't put it in the right of way.
Do you want us to put a sidewalk on our property?
Can you do that?
Well, part of the problem with that would be is for how that lot lies at the very end of the street, we had to curve the driveway to make it work. We don't have, it wasn't long enough, but we still have it working with the curved driveway. Adding a sidewalk into there was something I would look at, but that would remove a lot of our landscaping and push landscaping deeper into the property. But that was something I'd have to take a look at. I don't know the answer right now, but I have to take a look at it.
Okay.
But I do not believe, if I am looking at this correctly from here, is the corner of our property touches the new Stump Road.
No,
No.
I don't think it does.
So I
I
don't
think
think
there'll still be a gap.
that you'll have
But
to
the
get,
gap would be at Pinecrest Apartments. Which you
Or-
won't, I believe, don't you?
There's the. Why did you end it on the north end of the?
Why did the city end it there?
Right.
Great question. I don't know the answer to that.
The way the ground lays, there's so much excavation. There's lines that run through there, Cameron poles go through there, there's water lines go through there. And I paid $90,000 just to lower, 4 foot of the main line from Duckett Creek, or not Duckett, MMBI, the water service. Public water service. On that corner there, right, before you. I had to lower it 4 feet. There's a lot of utilities. It's probably why they stopped.
Matt, do you know?
I'm unsure in that area. I wasn't here for the design of Stump Road.
and adding a sidewalk along Highway N would be MoDOT, because we actually have that buffer between our property line and the edge of pavement, which belongs to MoDOT.
Doesn't have to be in the right of way. Put it on your
All of
property.
our property.
What would be the sidewalk we can right there in the corner? Cash.
It wouldn't attach today, but it could ultimately attach and you could walk all the way up Stump Road. Ultimately.
Ultimately, then you're finding utility.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I paid $90,000 lower at 4 feet.
But we want these residents to have the ability to walk through our community as well. As right now, well, the city paid for a sidewalk to at least get to your apartment complex. Now granted, it didn't go to the south side of the entrance to your apartment complex. But when the city built that sidewalk, there was nothing there. there was nothing, there were no residents that would be walking on it like these residents will be walking on. So I'm asking, can you guys look at that plan? And you understood what building commissioner Jeff was saying about a sidewalk is required on both sides unless you go get a variance. That's on your street. And would be addition.
Well, I was actually thinking about something different. Would this commission be fine with us adding a cross access easement onto Pinecrest to access that sidewalk, which will access that sidewalk on Stump Road without having to go along the side of it? Because we have that stub street there at the very top near the basin. We added a cross access easement at Pinecrest.
Are there sidewalks in Pinecrest?
No.
Yeah.
Would that be something reasonable? Without having to fight MoDOT and utility companies?
Well, I don't want you to fight MoDOT because you're gonna lose that. That's why I'm saying you could put it on your property.
Yeah, but that's a lot of grade change right there. We also have that area inlet right there.
Yeah.
And then if we're going the other way, we have a retaining wall that would be fighting again. So if we have a sidewalk going across there with a cross access easement into Pinecrest for the residents of the
That
subdivision,
cross access pedestrian easement
yes,
would have to go all the way out, all the way through Pinecrest Apartments to Stump Road,
yes, along one sidewalk.
along the chosen route.
Yes, sir.
I think I'd probably be okay with that. I can't speak for the others. Perhaps they don't care about it at all. I don't know.
All right, does anybody else have any questions, comments? All right, with that in mind, I need a motion for either a recommendation or approval to the, or denial to the Board of Aldermen for rezoning from C2 to R1D. Do I have a recommendation? Yeah, it's zone C2. And they want to go to R1D.
Well, that's understood. We voted on that
No, we didn't.
back in January.
Did we?
That was the reason zoning approved by the board.
No,
No.
no.
I don't think so.
It was sent, everything was sent back here.
But
No,
now
we
it's not.
denied it.
It's a motion to do that.
Right, but it was referred back to them, so they need to make a new recommendation.
But we're gonna do two again.
Right.
Two votes, right, because they're no longer seeking a PUD. They still need a recommendation on the rezoning. So that area plan is really a preliminary plat now.
But we'll do the rezoning first.
Yes.
And the preliminary plat second.
Yes.
That's what we did last time. It
I
wasn't
think
a PUD last time either.
It wasn't? I thought it was. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was because they didn't have all the setbacks, right?
Okay.
And they have more units. All right, so do I have a motion from anybody?
I'll make the motion that we recommend to the board that the rezoning request be approved.
Second.
All right, moved by Musler. Seconded by Northcutt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Me,
Nay.
nay, me.
All right, so we got a 6-2. All right, with that being said, need a motion for a recommendation to the board for approval or denial of the area plan,
Well,
preliminary, plan, excuse me.
and it's not a recommendation. You guys decide the preliminary plat.
I'm sorry, what?
Planning and zoning, excuse me, decides on the preliminary plat.
Oh, okay. All right, so we need a motion for approval. I'll make that. Need a second.
Second.
Moved by Woldridge, second by Northcutt. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. There,
The same people.
another 6-2. All righty.
Just
All right,
not
the final item on the agenda, the multifamily moratorium and the proposed changes to the zoning code. We've already had some discussion at the work session on this. Mr. Musmer has given us some of his thoughts and, how we think about, or how he thinks about this. I think we're going to take that back and kind of consider it. But is there anything that anybody wants to add to this document? Or you satisfied with using this as the basis of our discussion with the Board of Aldermen later this month?
I'm satisfied, but I have a question. When we meet with the board, are we going to even consider changing the future land use map? Are we gonna meet with the board and then discuss the future land use map later?
I don't.
Or are we not going to do anything at all with the future?
Well, you may not, 'cause I looked at that. And I'm not sure there's anything in there that addresses it. I mean, that would be contradictory to what we're doing. Unless I'm missing something that they land.
Well, I don't think it would be contradictory.
I mean, basically what these changes are doing is limiting the location. And that is along I-70. And then some other things involving density.
In the absence of a PUD.
Right.
But we could have a
Well, I
multi-family
see what you're saying.
PUD on Town Square Boulevard. Certainly could.
Right. I'll take a look at it again. I know, I see what you're saying.
I'm thinking that at some point we should be redoing that future land use map anyway. It's out of date.
Okay.
Especially since we're approving rezoning.
All right. Anybody else got anything for the cause? All right. Well, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Who seconded that? Oh,
Me.
all right. All in favor?
Me. Me.
Opposed?
Me.
We're done.